A quick show of hands out there, divers, who loves being ragdolled over and over again while taking on the bots. It's super annoying, and it's a major issue, right? Well, we just got a new update from Arrowhead outlining how some of that will be corrected for next week's patch, and this one is aimed at one of the more annoying enemy types currently found in the game. Welcome to the channel. This is 𝘽𝙁𝙁, and rocket devastators and gunships are on the menu for today's update. And this is the first enemy behavior sneak peek we've received from Arrowhead, and these changes are huge. So stay tuned for that one as I'm going to break it all down for you. Also, we've uncorked your top 3 comments and tripled it up from previous video uploads. But first, thank you so much for your continued and awesome support for my Helldivers uploads. In case you haven't done so already, take just a moment to hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. And it's time to talk rockets and ragdolling in Helldivers. Okay, we're going to skip right past the Superstore reset for today because you know it's repeats, and instead we're going to touch on this brand new incoming message from Super Earth. This is a new dispatch hot on the heels of our successful bot major order completion yesterday, and it actually ties in kind of interestingly to next week's warbond. Of course, that's the chemical agents warbond. It says, the automatons have been rebuffed once more, their territorial ambitions stymied by the ever-watchful Helldivers. The titanium deposits on Ember were retained, and the Helldivers successfully defended most of the incursions into Super Earth territory. Decrypted intel indicates that the automatons continue to pursue the construction of some kind of limited-use strike force, the nature of which continues to be investigated. However, denied critical resources, the automatons' efforts to expand their warfighting capability will be delayed. Here's the part that ties into the warbond. It says the retention of Ember's titanium is a relief for the hardworking citizens who rely on the corrosive-resistant metal to coat the chemical processing equipment they use every day for many hours. Their continued job security and workplace safety is thanks to the sacrifices made by the Helldivers. Now, in terms of the new major order, we do not have one yet. I was in there diving over in bug territory this morning. I was kind of eagerly awaiting for it. It has still not arrived, but we do have the new daily order, which is good, as you can see, for the next 20-ish or so hours, and it is to kill 50 enemies using the grenade launcher. And of course, that is shared across the entire squad. Rack up those 50 kills and pick up those 15 medals. Moving along, and today's buff diver announcement has just arrived, and it concerns rocket devastators and also gunships. Here's what they had to say over on Twitter. Rocket devastators now have a limited number of rockets, and you can see them disappear when they are spent. A reload mechanic is added from their backpack to replenish the rockets. In addition, the rocket physics collision is now smaller, making them easier to avoid. And of course, Johan and Nicholas are back with their little media splash here. We'll take a look at it, and then I'll come back on the flip side with some feedback.
My name is Johan Pilestedt.
And I'm DrLukeTheDuke boy.
Today we're diving into the patch notes of Helldivers 2.
So the rocket devastators, they have limited ammo. When they fire a rocket, you'll see one go away. I think they can only fire like 3 bursts or something, and then they need to reload because they have an extra pack. They can reload once. We should also mention, the collision of the rockets is smaller.
Okay, so
We reduced it by 80%.
Okay. Do gunships as well run out of ammo now?
Yes.
So basically, I'm hiding behind a rock. They blow their load all over me, and then I can move out of cover.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a walk of shame, but I think that's nice.
Okay, so we had a combo of a not safe for work plus comedic tone taken today by Johan and Nicholas, but still a ton of valuable information was dropped in those clips nonetheless. This is the first time we've seen anything or any discernible proof concerning enemy behavior changes. And we're speaking specifically of rocket devastators, gunships, and in general, explosive damage. So in order to understand just how severe these changes are, we need to first kind of list out the grievances right now with these enemy types, starting off with rocket devs. What are the current problems with them? Well, number one, they can spam rockets with basically no cooldown. Number two, they never need to reload. Number three, they can stand on the extreme fringes of where optimal range or combat effectiveness actually ends at, even outpacing what our sentries can reach, and they just spam these rockets in on you nonstop. It's never ending, it's ruthless, it's very effective, but it becomes an extreme annoyance for Helldivers nonetheless. When they hit you or they hit cover in front of you, the explosive damage is so severe it can actually blow you out of cover backwards, and then you just start getting perpetually ragdolled. Or if they hit the ground around you, you can also have the inverse effect where it actually sucks you forward out of cover, like over cover, and now you're exposed to all that incoming foot soldier laser fire, like from the heavy Devastators. So they are an extreme annoyance to deal with. Gunships, very much the same. They can spam those rockets at you, although you have the ability to kind of strafe around and anticipate those rockets, I think, a little more effectively than you do with rocket Devastators. But once again, same issue there. They never need to reload. So what is changing? Well, starting next Tuesday, they're going to fire, and I'm speaking about rocket devs, 2 rockets from each pod, so that's 4 rockets at once. They can do that 3 times before needing to reload. That's when you see the rocket pods go onto their back. They reload the rockets, they bring them back up. They've got 3 more volleys of 4 rockets each that they can fire at you, and then they are out of ammo. They didn't say specifically how many rockets the gunships are going to fire at us, but kind of the same mechanic. I guess they're going to have 1 available volley. Maybe they need to reload. They fire off a second volley, and then they are out as well. Also, did you hear when Nicholas said they've reduced, I guess, the explosive damage by 80%? That is massive. That means we're not going to be getting blown out of cover. That means we're not going to be getting sucked forwards out of cover. And these rocket devs are going to have to be much more precise with their rocket fire. It's not going to be so oppressive for us when we take them on, especially on those super high difficulties. One thing I didn't hear mentioned also, and I see this quite a bit when I'm playing versus bots on 8s, 9s, and 10s, is their ability to effectively see through the cover and pre-fire the corner you're about to come out on. I don't know if any of you have noticed that. Maybe you have. Maybe drop me a comment as far as that goes, but they can definitely see through the cover. They can anticipate where you're about to come out, and they can fire off those rocket volleys. The heavy devs are already pre-firing the corners with those rapid-fire laser cannons, things like that. I didn't hear that addressed, but major changes concerning how explosive damage and how those rockets are going to be hitting around us. I, for one, really want to see how this change works out in the game, but yeah, that was definitely always I guess a significant point of annoyance. It's just once those rockets started coming in, you got ragdolled. You couldn't get off up onto your feet. You couldn't hit a stem. You couldn't dive. It was just ragdoll after ragdoll after ragdoll, and then you would even get laser fired while you were getting ragdolled through the air. So major changes there for the rocket devs. I, for one, am happy to see this. And now it's time for your top 9 comments, and your ears are not playing tricks on you. Yes, I just said 9 because I have skipped covering the top 3 comments in my last 3 Helldivers uploads, and I definitely wanted to circle back around and give your comments the credit they are due. So kicking it all off, in the number 1 spot from 3 videos ago is Ozzy in Space, who says, "They sure are banking a lot on this update. It amazes me at how fast they were to tear the whole thing down versus this trickle for slowly building it back up. I still believe it, when I see it. And I think that's the general community sentiment that so many of you share. And it almost feels like they're reverting the game back to the way it was at launch, before all those nerf patches hit. And I, for one, loved the game at launch, so I can't wait to see what it looks and feels and plays like next Tuesday, September 17th. In the number 2 spot from 3 videos ago is Backstage Demons 1702, who says, cautiously optimistic. I would definitely agree with that. Remember, the future is calling, and the names that it is calling are Guard Dog, Rover, and Commando. And yeah, we saw that they already have this kind of on their known issues hit list, right? The Guard Dog Rover was bugged and it was continuously firing. The Commando was destroying all sorts of fabricator bunkers and things that it wasn't supposed to destroy. And they had those on their bugged known issues list. I seriously hope they don't mess with either of these. And hopefully, as the 17th rolls around and we get all these new buffs and things like that, we can count on the Guard Dog and Commando performing the exact same way they have in the past. And slotting in the number 3 spot from 3 videos ago is Death by Try 227. Oof, this one hits you in the feels right here. Everyone is waiting for the 180 countries to be reinstated to Super Earth. And just being honest with you, I check on the commercial license over on SteamDB at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I'm just ever so hopeful that Sony will eventually get their heads out of their asses, come to their senses, reinstate all those countries, all those regions and territories that right now cannot purchase the game. I'm not saying they can't play the game if they already owned it, but they can't purchase the game. And let's just get back to enjoying it. I seriously don't know what Sony's thinking at this point. They already reneged on that requirement to have your accounts PSN linked over between Steam and the PlayStation Network. So it's time for Sony to move on. They lost this war. Let's just have some fun. Dropping in the 4 spot, technically the number 1 spot for 2 uploads ago, is Deadly Apollo with this one. I see Alexis Kravchenko has been subdued and pistol whipped into submission. And I don't even know if I can say pistol whipped here on YouTube without the video just getting completely hit with a strike and demonetized off the platform. But I've read a lot of rumors and I guess factual information about what this certain individual was involved with in their past, I guess, gaming experience, and hopefully that doesn't actually just end up being canon over here with Helldivers. Slotting in the number 5 spot, technically the number 2 spot for 2 uploads ago, is Jackson Chastain 656 with I'm a simple man. I hear OG Railgun, I get excited. I mean, hell yes. The OG Railgun was beast. I can't wait to try it out next Tuesday. And slotting in the number 6 spot, technically the number 3 spot for 2 videos ago, is StarFan6299. Listen to this one, everyone. It's a f***ing railgun. I will never understand why they nerfed it so much, LOL. And yeah, we covered this here on the channel multiple times. The OG railgun was a beast. It should be a beast based on the physics and the description of the weapon. And because it was bugged, it just got destroyed. And eventually it came back a little bit. It's a little bit back now, but it's definitely going to be interesting to try it out next Tuesday. Slotting in number 7, technically number 1 from yesterday's video, is Marcus Ayala 9667 screaming out, I need stems! And then somebody says, don't worry, I have the stem pistol. Fires grenade pistol instead. Yeah, definitely, divers. Check those loadouts, double check them, triple check them before you hit PlanetSide, because you could think you're rocking that stem pistol. Instead, you got the grenade pistol, and you're going to wipe out your squad mates pretty quickly. In number 8, technically number 2 from yesterday's video, is Domination Games, who says, my crew is starting to look like an anime cast. We've got a pyromaniac, demolitions expert, a sharpshooter, and now you're telling me I can unleash my inner chemist? Call me caustic and give me a hammer. I'm in. And I saw this comment or this general sentiment from a lot of people from yesterday's video talking about the chemical Agent Warbond. A lot of you are super excited for this, and I definitely feel that we've got a pyromaniac, demo expert, a sharpshooter, and now just a gas person, you know? So yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting next Thursday when Chemical Agent drops. And bringing up the caboose on this long top comments train, in the number 9 spot, technically number 3 from yesterday's video, is Director87, who says, "Now I can say with no remorse to the bugs and bots, I fart in your general direction." Yes, and I don't think this one needs any further comments on it, but yeah, that Chemical Agent Warbond is definitely going to be interesting when it drops next week. Sadly, that's all we've got time for today, and congrats to all of those top 3 comment winners. And if you want to see your name and comment up in lights in my next video, you first need to let it fly on this video. Leave me a comment, and who knows, it may receive enough upvotes that it gets featured in the next video. I'm also looking forward to reading that feedback down in the comment section. How are you feeling about these changes to the bots? Rocket devs, gunships, and explosive damage all receiving significant changes. If you aren't so much of a bot diver, if you like to stay over in Bugsville almost exclusively, will this be enough to kind of coax you over to the dark side to take on those bots? Let me know, leave me some feedback. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all of my sources, can be found down in the video description. Shout out to the now over 243,000 of you legends from across the planet who tune in on the daily to support me and my content. I lean on your support, and it is greatly appreciated. We're making that push up to 250K. It's nearly in sight. Until the next one, this is Lieutenant BuzzLitebeer, signing off.